Well, I had, I tried to do a really good job of just focusing on the guy I'm going to wrestle, but going into this, James had been scoring a lot, like ear to ear collar tie. He'd snap and then kind of go to his double from there or post, right? So a lot of what I kind of expected was double leg, So it was like, hey, keep one hand down and keep your feet moving. The big thing we've been working on with me, right, is like staying on the guy the whole time. So it was like try not to get slowed down and keep your hands and feet pretty busy, working his head. What I kind of didn't expect was James did a really good job of kind of not I don't want to say shutting it down, but he was going to pick his spots a little more carefully, I think, than I expected him to, just kind of based on his other matches he had wrestled. So once that kind of clicked in my head, it was like, well, I'm going to need to pick it up even more because he's not going to blow the scoreboard open right now. He's going to look to score like one or two really clean shots on me.
So that's like as the match starts, maybe around here at some point, you're making an adjustment in your head based on what you thought was going to happen versus what is actually happening right now.
Yeah. The other thing is we had wrestled at 67 kilos and 68 kilos. And you're like, well, what's 4.5, 5 pounds? Like, what's that jump really going to do? He did feel a lot stronger because I know how much stronger I've gotten in the last 4 years, and he felt way stronger. So I'm like, okay, clearly those weight cuts were taking something out of him. And I really felt it. Like, you can see I'm working his head a lot. And usually I can like snap and clear and re-grab and snap and clear and re-grab. And with him, it was hard to get him off me. You can kind of see there I'm trying to get him off, but he did a really good job of kind of staying in the positions he wanted to force, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he looks.
Yeah, and there's that shot.
There we go. Head inside. Oof. Heavy hit.
Just fall flat on my face.
Did you get a step out there?
Yeah, I scored a push out on that one. Yeah. That's actually when I look at Mike, I think, and he's like, I think he does one of those with his hands, and maybe it's this. And he's like, all right, like, let's pick it up a little bit. So again, right, you got to be careful because he's so strong and powerful through the legs that it's like, if you pop your chest up, he's going to bulldoze you maybe for 4. But it's also like, keep yourself busy and don't really give him any break. I think he ends up going on the clock here. And that, what I feel good about is it's like, okay, well, I am wrestling hard. I mean, at least like it looks like it. Because we always make the joke with me, like there's what I think I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, and then sometimes what actually happens out there is not always the same. So I like to go back and watch and just kind of, I know what I'm thinking and what I was trying to do. So it's good to see and just kind of catch the differences, right?
Does that ever happen where you go back and watch a match and you're like, man, I thought I was working hard or controlling center or showing that I'm offensive, but maybe the opposite or something else was happening in reality?
Yeah, even a little bit here, or a good example actually is the match against Daniel Cardenas in the quarters here. I chest wrapped him, and I was 100% sure. I'm like, I didn't go to my back. Like, I popped him. I thought I was like Kyle Dake throwing that guy at the World Cup. I think it was actually a different Takatani from Japan.
Yeah.
And then I go back and watch it, and I'm like, oh, I land flat on my back. And like and then I'm like, well, I came out on top, like, and now I'm sitting here arguing with myself about how bad my chest wrap was. And, it's good, right? Because seeing it, I'm like, oh, I should have done X, Y, and Z when I did A, B, and C. But obviously in the match, right, you're kind of going off feel, going off instinct. So that's why I like to watch myself, probably more than anybody, right? Because it's like I want to see, and, I want to notice my own tendencies, right? Like, hey, what are the things that I do every match that maybe someone else is going to notice that I got to hide better, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Pretty early in this period, I think with like a minute into it, I take this slow motion, like fall flat on my belly shot. And I remember thinking to myself, I just got to get my hands locked, right? And I, historically, right, I'm a good finisher. Like if I get my hands locked, usually I'll score. I've made mistakes, obviously, but yeah, it's right here. And I'm like, get your hands locked. And then without even really realizing it, I like literally hips, chest, and my face at one point are flat on the mat. That's not good. It's no good. I remember right away, like, what am I thinking? Actually, in the match, being like, that was so stupid. Don't do that. Um, but also, I don't know, in a weird way, not like I didn't feel threatened, but I'm like, all right, I'm losing, but it's like he only scored from me diving flat to my face. So it's like, keep your face off the mat, keep your chest off the mat, and you're safe. So, like, let's keep working the head and pulling. And then, you know, if it's like, you don't need to feel panicked right now with 2 minutes to go. Like, all you need is a push out. So it's like, let's just keep working and hand fighting and see what opens up. And then with about a minute to go is when you're going to really start picking it up really hard and kind of, I don't want to say forcing, but you start to force the action a little bit more.
Sure.
But right now it's like, let's fake and snap and see what opens up. I don't need to get desperate and put myself in a deeper hole, right? Trying to force a score.
Sure.
One thing I feel like you see with a lot of guys is they get scored on, and right away it's like, let me go get one. And a lot of times that actually leads to a second score for the first guy, right? Because you're like creating this pressure that doesn't really need to be there. And then right around here, it's like, okay, we can start to pick it up now, and where we're gonna really, I don't want to say force the action, but now
create.
I mean, you got to do something, right? So
Yeah.
it's gonna be more than faking and snapping. Like you saw that duck attempt, and then I think there's a high crotch here, and we get stuck, and then the score I end up getting to, I'll wait till we get there, but I guess I'm rambling, but that's kind of where you're gonna start to pick it up.
Sure. Yeah. And day one, they say, yes, keep your face off the mat. That's great advice. Keep your face off the mat.
Great advice. Do not want your face flat on the mat. It's
Never.
no good. He punches hook and I swim. We started working on that shot a lot. Actually, after Amuzad beat me in the World Finals. That was cool.
Yeah. What I was so
We
impressed
started working
was,
that because Amuzad killed me with a right hand and underhook. Like I spent basically the whole match getting underhooked. So we had worked on that like pummeling action, and then I actually hit it a little bit, my senior year of college, where it was like pummel, and if he follows, like you can just shoot right off that. And I did. And then once we're here, I kind of knew, again, it's like keep my face off the mat and I'm safe. But if I get my hands locked, I'm going to score again. So there's a shot here that I kind of felt. He starts trying to chase cradle here, and I know I'm safe, but if I pop my head out, I'm going to score. And, you want to finish the match on top, and there's that last takedown.
That's right at the buzzer. Yeah.
About 5 seconds left.
Did that was that like a data point? Did that prove something just to you in your own mind and yourself about, all right, yes, 70. I feel good. I wrestled well. This is where I belong.
Yeah, I think so, right? Because, up until then, right, I had a match go the distance also. So I'm like, James tested. He's medaled. He's their defending rep. I saw someone say like he's never failed to make a team at 70 kilos that he attempted to make. So yeah, right. Like
15.
every 70 kilo team he's tried to make, he made. So this kind of felt like, all right, this one's going to be real. Not real like the other ones weren't, but it's like, all right, this might be a jump. This is going to really show how I'm doing at this weight, right? And he's pretty big for 70. So I think it also is going to expose how my strength, how my conditioning, those things play in with a full-sized 70 kilo guy.